Hey now, this is your girl, Word on the Street, talking with Tonya, and I am back. Yes, away from that Christmas holiday and all that Christmas mojo. But I got a special guest on the show, and I'm so excited about that. Hey, his name is Wilson Tai. Yes, indeed. Hey, Wilson, how are you?
Hey, good. Thanks, Tonya.
Hey, yes, indeed. I am so excited to have you here. We're here to talk about the Asian Cultural Center.
That's right.
Yes. Tell me a little bit more about what you do there.
Well, thanks for having me on the show, first of all. We're over in Oakland, California right now, and I am with the Oakland Asian Cultural Center, OACC. We're an arts and cultural venue and institution in downtown Oakland.
Yes, and that's pretty exciting because a lot of amazing things just went on there. We just had our Oakland Digital Award ceremony, and that was amazing to see the new look of the place. Yes, I really liked it a lot. So how did everything transpire getting to that point, to the Asian Cultural Center?
So I'm an artist, first and foremost. My platform is online, digital media, furniture arts, industrial design, photography, music, just a typical artist all over the place.
Yes, indeed, and let's not forget about that vibe. You gotta definitely put the vibe party up there.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yes.
But the OACC, I got involved. I had a transition period in my life, actually about a year ago, where I reached a point in my life that I realized I hit a glass ceiling, and as a designer, graphic designer.
Okay.
And I realized that personal growth, I just wasn't waking up in the morning feeling like I was making an impact in that lane. I was given the opportunity by people I know, the people I know being the executive director. Shout out to Tamiko Wong.
Shouts out.
She's the executive director of Oakland Asian Cultural Center, and she gave me a heads up saying, "Hey, we were looking for board members, and if you're interested, let me know." And again, this is during a transition period where I was pretty much out of work at that point.
Okay.
Yeah, literally freelancing, and I'm like, wow, so there's an opportunity here to join an organization that is doing social justice, providing an arts and cultural space in Oakland. And at that point, I made the application to be part of the board.
All right,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Inspired, right?
Yeah, so
that is amazing.
And it allowed me to confirm and really become an independent contractor, to become a freelancer, to be my own person, as opposed to working for, quote unquote, the man.
Right.
And it's been wonderful. It's been over a year now that I've been part of Oakland Asian Cultural Center, and we're making moves. The board is committed to guiding the organization, and one of the moves I made was having Oakland Digital use the venue for their Inspiration Awards Gala.
Right, check it out. It was so amazing. And then just seeing me being the greeter this year, that was just something important for me too. Because I came afar and a long way, from a small business owner to now here on the radio station, going to the Asian Cultural Center. Second time, I'll take that back. I've been there because we've eaten downstairs before. But it's just amazing just to see where I'm really going and how I'm moving. And it's just wonderful. And this is just a true amazing thing that's happening with me, to have you here, because I know you're a very busy person, and to come out, I just want to applaud that and thank you.
Thank you.
That's what we do, and it's the holiday time, and I can just imagine how busy your schedule is, but coming out for me is just like, thanks so much. I mean, you inspire, you empower, and that's what's just happening, and I'm just like, Thank you. The show means a lot. You coming on, talking about things that you do, because this is your day today, right?
Word on the street, talk with Tonya.
Yes, talk with Tonya, and I like the Tonya effect too.
Yeah, you like
Yes, I love it because that's just our personal me and you, and that's just something that it just brings us together, and things that we have been doing. It's been so amazing. Loving Oakland, being a part of Oakland now. The Asian Cultural Center, it's kind of like a little part of the family. Yeah, when you look at it, because being a board member, that's not always an easy job.
Yeah, I want to remind folks, I just was talking to a friend of mine, Stephanie, yesterday about this, and she didn't know this, and I figured I might want to share it with your audience, because when people tell you that they're part of a board of directors for a nonprofit organization, that board member is doing it for free.
Yeah.
It's a pro bono gig. It's usually a 2-year commitment. So I'm talking about Hewlett-Packard, Apple, these big companies, corporate companies have board of directors. Now, board of directors for nonprofits are not paid. So anyone you meet, that's putting in that time, going to the board meetings, guiding the executive director. They're doing that for whatever they believe in, and that's with the meaning and purpose. That's that whole MO, the modus operandi of doing things that you deeply care about. You'll do them for free.
Yes, and being dedicated, you're truly dedicated, and that's amazing. I like what you're doing, because when you give from your heart. And I see that. And to be able to do that for free, I mean, that in itself just shows you that you have a heart for what you do. And that takes a lot. It takes guts too, because everybody know that, some people require a paycheck, but your dedication, your time, and your talent is pretty awesome. And being in that digital world outside of that, busy, I can't tell you enough. You're doing an awesome job. And I thank you for coming out, talking with my listeners, and letting them know there's a different side of Tonya. I'm in a big part of the business that really helps me out and come out and support me. And this is support. So coming in today, this is awesome. And tell me more. Tell the listeners more. We're hearing from you now.
Yeah. So, and Tonya, you're familiar with the motto of Oakland Digital, which starts with teamwork.
Makes the dream work.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, just want to illustrate too that what I've realized on the board of directors, and we have 9 board members. So. Teamwork, without that team, we can't make the moves. And
then the acronym, not to cut that off, acronym to team is together where everyone achieves more. And that's just how I felt just being a part of that big organization too with Oakland Digital. I really feel a part of a family. And you're a part of that. And it's a big thing. And then other entities with the Asian Cultural Center. So that's why I brought it on, and I wanted to just share that's not all that Oakland Digital or you do. And just shouts out to Wilson Tai, the young guy. We definitely got to put everybody on the air, and Linda too, and everybody that works on the scene. Mark, we got a few of you. I just want to say thanks. Because it means a lot, and you care, and just having you just inspire me to do well. We're still working on that beast mode too. So
beast mode.
Yes, we got to definitely.
# beast mode.
# beast mode, everybody. We're working on getting them in for the next year, because that's something I really try hard in doing. But with teamwork again, we got to make the dream work. Yeah, so we definitely want to # everything that you hear on the show. # talking with Tonya, # Wilson Tai, and also # the Asian Cultural Center, correct?
Yeah, and Tonya is actually referring to literally Mr. Beast Mode, Marshawn Lynch. Marshawn Lynch of Oakland, California. And we're trying to make some moves to bring Marshawn Lynch into the capacity of Oakland Digital. Heads up, Marshawn Lynch, if you're listening.
Yes.
But I do want to speak a little bit about OACC.
Okay, well, even more.
Maybe your audience can hear it. Because when you hear Oakland Asian Cultural Center, you may think, oh, it's only for Asians. And I want to specify that it's not only for Asians.
Tell them more.
So just a generic statement about OACC and what it does. Just give it to you in a nutshell here. OACC builds vibrant communities through Asian and Pacific Islander American arts and culture programs. We foster intergenerational and cross-cultural dialogue, cultural identity, collaborations, and social justice. So very much one and the same with the movement of Oakland Digital in the tech realm. We do it also for arts and culture at Oakland Asian Cultural Center. So you can see these organizations I'm involved with. You can see kind of the lane that we're trying to choose here. Some of the things coming up at OACC in the new year, because again, we're a few days away from 2016.
Right.
And it's I'm excited. Are you excited?
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm stoked.
Year of the Monkey, big year. Year of the Monkey is the Fire Monkey, by the way. And that date is coming up on February 27th. So, the Western culture, we celebrate New Year's Eve, December 31st, January 1st, maybe Recovery Day. Hopefully you got the resolutions in check. It's a good time to reflect on that right now. You have some time left, but then you have in the Asian culture, specifically Chinese culture, you have February 27th, 2 months out, which is Lunar New Year. And that's when you typically see the stereotypical fireworks, firecrackers, lion dancing, things like that. So all those things are cultural identifiers of the Chinese culture. And we have a special event in the daytime from 11 to 3 at the Oakland Asian Cultural Center.
And what day is that? So I'll know to try to be there.
It's a Saturday.
Oh, that's amazing.
So it fits everyone's schedule.
Fits everyone's schedule. I like that.
Daytime, afternoon, and again, free to the public. And if you're all not familiar with Oakland Asian Cultural Center, physically it is right above the Oakland Library at the water fountain. You got Franklin Street. It's literally the center of Chinatown. And it's in a large center. It's got the Peony restaurant right there next to it. One of our favorite spots that Tonya actually referenced to, Gum Quo. Shout out to GK.
Yes, amazing food. Everybody gotta check it out.
Best rice porridge in Oakland, which is
amazing.
It's saying something because there's a lot of joints that make rice porridge in Oakland, and so
they're one of the best though.
I hope I don't regret offering that tip to the listeners because that really
that's
is
what
the
it's
spot.
all about. This is your show today, so we really want to get that area plugged in, and also me as well, and you as well, so they can look things up and just talk with Tonya. Yes, even more so, because it's important that you broaden your cultural horizons. As well. As me being a sister of color, and then being around my persuasions of others. It's amazing, because I don't like to drop certain ones. I just like to be real, and I keep it real. And it's just something that I want to do this year, even more so with the 216 coming in. Is broadening my cultural surroundings. And this is what's happening today. By you here sharing the Asian Cultural Center here on the show, that gives the listeners other places to go. We don't necessarily have to just be in our small town, but Oakland is a big city. And just having all of this information being shared right now is very positive. And that's what we work on, that positive movement all together and all the way around. Because even with the team being together, you learn different things. You learn different things about one another. I'm learning even more about you and the work that you do outside of being the person that you are, wearing those many hats that you do. Okay, and I'm excited about it, and that's how I'm coming on the air, and it's just you. This is your platform. Let's just get to it.
Who's been part of First Fridays? Are you familiar with Art Murmur?
Yes, I'm familiar with it, and talk more about it.
Yeah, so First Fridays Art Murmur happens the first Fridays in downtown Oakland. Talking like Broadway, Telegraph.
That's altogether about 27?
27,
Yes.
Grand Avenue. That's the epicenter of Art Murmur. And it started out many years ago, I'd say even 10 years ago, really, with art galleries. Shout out to Esteban Sabar Gallery, shout out to Bob's Front Gallery. These are some photographers, curators. They actually opened up their doors on Friday nights, and this is when the town was a ghost town. This is before it became gentrified. there was this whole movement of let's open the doors up after 5 p.m. Let's have people on the streets. Let's have people come into these galleries, check out some art, and it became a movement where today you see First Fridays. It's almost like a zoo. It's closed off. You've got security. You've got porta potties. You've got performances, artists in the streets now. So it's even moved onto the streets. It's a beautiful thing. But what's cool is that OACC is now officially part of the Oakland Art Murmur.
All right, I like that.
Yeah,
I like
so
that.
it's and our institution is now on the map, and we have our First Fridays open. This is typically 5 p.m., 6 p.m. First Fridays. We'll have authors talking about their books. We'll have skill clinics. We'll have health clinics. We'll have visual arts, performing arts, all the things that we typically do at the Oakland Asian Cultural Center. So that also is free to the public, First Fridays.
Great, and I like First Fridays a lot because I also get out there as an entrepreneur too, and I promote my business, and I also promote here Talking with Tonya because I'll be live on the air. And in the 2/16th, as you can see, you'll be able to see a clip of this today because Wilson is really doing it big for me, and I'm just loving it. And it's coming into a new year, and First Friday is just one of the places, and you get to see all of these beautiful new things that come out in Oakland. And that's amazing. And to have that and to know now the times and the places where you can go and see different new things, that really works for everybody that's out in Oakland. Because you never know what to expect on First Friday.
I've seen guitar ukulele players on the streets. I've seen small band, 4-piece bands literally playing on the sidewalk at Broadway and 26th. I've seen graffiti live in the streets. I've seen a table set up where there were 4 people and they literally were making art out of grocery bags.
Wow, that's amazing. How talented is that?
It's just, hey, whatever lane you want as an artist to express yourself and you want to share it with your community, that First Fridays really has become the go-to. And, artists are weird. Artists are kooky. Artists do what they want.
I like that word, eclectic.
They doing it for the money. They're doing it for
Right.
themselves, and they want to express themselves. And I'm not saying everybody needs to do that, but hey, if you want to do it, then First Friday is a great place to do it. And it's anywhere from, again, it used to be Grand Avenue and Broadway, where these 4 to 5 galleries were. And I think the last one standing was actually just evicted this year due to raised rent, and it was actually rock, paper, scissors on Telegraph near Grand Avenue. And it's sad because that was, I think, the last of the 4 to 5 galleries that were part of the original Oakland Art Murmur. So I think it's a good thing, a good topic just to quickly touch upon that in times of gentrification, which I don't want to say is a bad thing, but when the city sees prosperity and the city puts out that vibe and markets to new businesses, to new people to come to Oakland, you can't squeeze the arts and culture and squeeze them for money. These institutions that have been part of Oakland for decades, when it was dead,
Right.
when it was a ghost town,
Right.
when there wasn't anything going on Friday nights.
Right.
And these institutions have been holding it down and providing that space, providing that fostering of arts and culture. And so when you see Uber moving to Oakland, when you see these people that are from Ohio all of a sudden in Oakland because it's the hot place to be, because they see the arts and culture, I think we should all be very sensitive to the fact that these arts and culture institutions have been holding it down, and that we should invest and continue to support these institutions and venues like Oakland Asian Cultural Center.
Most definitely, and what we're going to do, we're going to be right back, and I'll have more to talk about with Wilson Tai. Hey now!
Hey Tonya, if possible, can you give me like a 1-minute warning when you go back on?
Hey now. Yes, indeed. We're back on the air, but I'm giving you a little bit of chance to get it together this morning. I'm just saying we're flying by the seat of our pants. It is one of those days. We're back from the holidays, but just wanted to just give you an okay and welcome back, Wilson. Yes, indeed. Give you enough time to get it together. Yeah, we're working it out. Just on the air and live, and that's what happens when you catch air. You just live and on the air, so you have to come back and just be like, okay, we're here. So we're talking about more the Asian Cultural Center. Yeah, the acronym to that. Can you say it for my listeners?
Yeah, this is Wilson Tai of the Oakland Asian Cultural Center, OACC. And we were just talking about First Fridays and how we're officially part of the Art Murmur, which happens again First Fridays in downtown Oakland. If you haven't heard about it, now you know. But interestingly enough, we're not just in Oakland and we're not just about Asians. Two topics here I want to talk about are, there's a line I just heard recently, and it's quote unquote, Africanness is not defined by slavery. And that's a quote by a Jamaican author named Paula Madison. And she has a film called Finding Samuel Lowe.
Okay.
From Harlem to China.
All right.
Have you heard of this film?
I've heard of it now. That's why I said, okay, this is great.
So she's actually going to be having a film screening and a Q&A with the filmmaker at Oakland Asian Cultural Center. And what's cool is that she found out, like, from her grandfather that she has Chinese roots.
Wow.
And this woman, you would think, okay, just a person of color, it's typical, not really, but where's this flavor? Wait, she's got this flavor though. Mm-hmm. And you find out in this film, she's got Chinese in her blood. And
wow, that's amazing.
It kind of blew my mind. It kind of blew my mind because it just goes to show that we're all people that have very long lineages that have created our vibe and our culture and what we look like. And it's not just, African American, it's not just Chinese American, but there's a lot of mixing going on.
Okay, that's that genealogy, right?
Genealogy.
I love it.
I love it. And so again, it's called Finding Samuel Lowe from Harlem to China. It's going to be screening at the Oakland Asian Cultural Center this spring. Love to have you come through for that. These are all events that you could find on our website at oacc.cc. And once again, it's oacc.cc. Another thing is that Oakland Asian Cultural Center is not actually just Oakland based. We want to say our social impact, our arts and culture extends beyond Oakland.
Okay.
And so one example is our Asian Heritage Street Celebration in San Francisco.
Yes, let's talk more about that. I like to hear about that.
Right. So there's an Asian Art Museum in SF. This is really close to the Civic Center of Art. There's SF City Hall. And there's this huge center right between those two buildings, right in the center of SF. And we host the Asian Heritage Street Celebration there. And it's a daytime event. You have artists, vendors, performances, music in the streets. And it's a daytime event. This is happening Saturday, May 21st, 2016. So we'd love to see you come out for that. It's funny because I was an artist vendor at this event.
Imagine that. And now you're out there.
and I literally was there selling my goods from Dragon Motif. And now Oakland Asian Cultural Center produces this event.
And I just want to be able to tell my listeners, you got to get your cultural game intact. That's something we're going to be doing in the 216, having more things coming from the Asian Cultural Center our way in the Bay Area. So it's not only going to be Oakland, but we got San Francisco to kind of move in that direction. And that's exciting. And also, what are some of the other things that you do here in Oakland?
Yeah, so besides the Oakland Asian Cultural Center, I am also involved with Oakland Digital as a volunteer. But I really am an artist. When I say I'm an artist, I really am an artist. I mean, that's my lane. And I'm a freelancer. And so when you hear about what I'm working on 2016, Bridge for Social Good, for example, that's to empower the freelancer. And I really do believe in a gig economy. I believe in all of us independently working. I think we're a lot stronger that way. I tend to come across a lot of people in my life, especially in this year, 2015, that aren't happy.
Oh, wow. Yes, I'm feeling that vibe too.
They aren't happy with what they're doing.
Okay.
Be it for job, be it for school. They don't have the answers. And I'm not saying I have the answers, but I can tell you that from the limited amount of information and knowledge that I have, that if you ain't doing something for meaning and purpose, then you need to change it up.
I like that because that's how we met too, coming by way of doing things that you like doing. I came by way of being a small business owner and working with the other side with you with Oakland Digital, and then here platforming and catapulting over to actually the radio station. And I love what I do. And then I'm learning how to engineer. I'm getting the ones and twos together. But this is something that wasn't very familiar to me. But now that I've learned it has inspired me, and that word inspire goes a long way in our camp. So as you can see, you gotta have an open mind to do certain things in your life, and you gotta have an open mind to meet new people. And it just works for me because right now I'm soaring in every avenue of the tech inclusion and working with things as technical as this itself. So it's inspiring and empowering. That's another word in our lives that I like to use a lot too, because you empower me. You have empowered me. And another way, and we're going to get to that too, because I can't imagine people not knowing about Bike Party. You know, that's just
shout out to East Bay Bike Party.
Yes, that's just I had to put that out there, Wilson, because for me to have rode a bike, I mean 10 miles or even as far as I've gone with that, and shouts out to Allison as well, okay, and it just makes a big difference, because I remember when I crashed and burned a little bit, and I just had so many wonderful people there with me to just pick my spirits up and kept me on moving, and talking about that is just having a bike party or bike lanes in Oakland is just really truly amazing, because you don't find them. You know, they're downtown now, but when you get further into East Oakland, you don't really find too many bike lanes. And then a lot of people ask me, what is Bike Party? How did Bike Party get started?
Yeah. East Bay Bike Party. Shout out to Bike East Bay. It's another nonprofit organization.
Right, shouts out
over
to them.
at Jack London Square. As you talk about bike lanes, a lot of people do work to put in these bike lanes, and this is what we call infrastructure. And one of the organizations is called Bike East Bay. Bike Party is not related to Bike East Bay. Bike Party is its own democratic movement.
Right.
It's basically the second Fridays of every month. It's now it's over 60 months now in a row that it's been going on in Oakland. And I'm talking about starting in Fruitvale, San Leandro, Hayward, all the way out to Pleasant Hill,
Yes,
Concord, Walton
Concord.
Creek, Lake Merritt. I mean, we really do ride everywhere in the East Bay.
Haven't you taken the trip to Frisco as well?
Well, that's not the East Bay Bike Party. That's shout out to SF Bike Party.
Okay.
So it all comes from San Jose Bike Party.
Okay.
That's the mothership, we call it. They've been doing it for many more years than us. But at this point, it's very mature. Everyone's been doing it for at least 4 years. It's 100% free, quote unquote. But it's volunteer driven, volunteer produced, and we receive zero funding. It's a fun event. I'm not gonna tell people, hey, you need to ride a bike. All I can do is show people that I do ride every day, including today coming to Talk with Tonya in Alameda.
That's amazing.
And I always feel like, if you really want to inspire, empower others, then just show them.
Yes, and that's what you have to do, and especially getting out there, because I didn't know how fun it was until I joined a couple of them, and I've been on actually 2 or 3, and then the zombie one, and then
the theme, the zombie apocalypse.
Exactly.
Right.
And that was so amazing to me to see everybody in costume and everything, and just really, really having a good time. And it's a lot of work that goes into nonprofit, and for you to be able to be here and talk with us about your nonprofit, the Asian Cultural Center, being on that board, it just means a lot because you do a lot of work that you do from your heart. And that's what counts, because every time you look back on people that you do help, that you do inspire, it takes a big heart to do that. And you have one of those.
Thank you.
I also want to give a shout out to your mom as well. Yes, we can't.
Shout out, Mom.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly. Because we can do better, doesn't it? And we have, and that's what's so amazing about all the beautiful people that I'm really meeting in my life that has come together as really one component and have helped Talk with Tonya. And we've also came by the way of Love Oakland. We can talk a little bit about that too.
Yeah, that's actually one of the things I'm really excited about in 2016 is hashtag Love Oakland, which is on Instagram, on Twitter. You just need a hashtag Love Oakland, just like you would hashtag Talk with Tonya. And it's actually a website, loveoakland.com.
Yeah, and I was able to be featured in actually April, and that's what was so exciting for me, to actually have my t-shirt logo, me being here at KPR1. Shouts out to KPR1 having us on today. Yeah. This is really amazing. And it just catapulted me in a way like, wow, I really love Oakland, and to be known right there as an Oakland hero.
That's right.
Yeah, it was just something like, okay, this is inspiring. And the things that we do right now, we're inspiring others. We're wanting you to get out there and come check out the Asian Cultural Center. What a beautiful water fountain. I saw the short video clip that you were able to do this year as well. And it captured a lot of things. Yeah. I mean, the water fountain was great. It brought people in from my page to where it's located at. And that's what's important. And definitely we're going to give you that location again, the next half part of the hour. And just so you'll be able to come out and check out what's happening there. And like he said, it's not all about just being it's age and persuasion. It's all about just knowing the cultural things that are going on in your community.
I mean, it's Oakland. It's Oakland.
You gotta love
Oakland. It's a diverse place.
It really is. I mean, a melting pot of everything, right?
It's ethnic. It's definitely ethnic.
And that's what I like about it, because no one's singled out. You know, you have everywhere, you have a little part of somewhere, right? It's a place for everybody, and that's what's so exciting about having you here, because you're bringing my listeners into this cultural experience and just giving them more to look forward to, because all lives matter, and that's what counts here on the show, Positive Movement, bringing it in about the businesses, your residents, and that's my focus.
Yeah, I think just, you know, I'm looking at the year, and it's been super reflective. And reflective is I feel grateful because I've had the right folks around me and the right people around me, the right support. That's allowed me to be reflective. Because to have that luxury of time and space is really rare. And not every year is like that. You know, when I talk about the zodiac year of the monkey coming up, if your year of the monkey, it's going to be a good year for you. Likewise, last year it was the year of the horse.
Okay.
And it was a really good year for me. I mean, that's the year I was on top of a mountain, a volcano in Maui.
Wow.
At 10,000 feet.
Love it.
Yeah, Will of the Sun. So if you guys all are out there and you want to see a project, willofthesun.com. Will, the will of the sun. And I'm literally climbing a mountain, a volcano, 10,000 feet, and I did that on a very important year. And the following year, this year, not so much. Some losses, took some L's, as they call it.
Yeah.
And got put into a place where I had to check myself and had to be very introverted and reflective and really find out what's going on. And I feel like these are really important years that if you have the right people around you, then they can be growth years. And if you don't really have the right people around you, they could potentially be a trajectory which changes your path. And that's a tip. I mean, if anyone can learn is, the reason why I'm involved with these nonprofit organizations that don't pay you anything in monetary value is that they provide social equity. Social equity is support, inspiration, empowerment, things that you can't buy at a store.
And that's what I like for the importance of it all. Things you can't buy at the store, but people you can have around you for a lifetime. Hey now, yes, it's your girl, Word on the Street, talking with Tonya, and I'm here with Wilson Tai, and we're back on the air, and what a day it actually has been. But he has more to talk about, and I want him to be able to just finish what he's been doing today, talking about everything that's been going on with him, and everything that's continuing to blossom. So Wilson, talk to the listeners.
Yeah, keep Oakland creative.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot.
Keep Oakland creative. That's actually by the Oakland Creative Neighborhoods Coalition, which is also a partner of my nonprofit, Oakland Asian Cultural Center.
Keeping it creative is a big way to do it this year. I mean, hey, you inspire, empower.
Yeah, words in action. These, I think we can end the show on these topics of just growth in the new year, since we're in the special time of the transition between 2015 and 2016, and the whole
because
concept.
Friday it all starts over. I mean,